I wanted to tell you, I did go on my lunch date, my rescheduled lunch date on Monday, and it was so wonderful to see my friend. We used to be together years ago, and it was just lovely to talk to him. It was a 3-hour lunch. I thought he was going to declare his undying love for me and he wanted to get back with me, but nothing could have been farther from the reality of the situation. But it's funny, you know, when you hang out with an ex, you kind of go back to those patterns that you used to have when you were together. You know, a couple of weeks ago I opened up my video by showing you a black and red dress, and I said I loved it and that it reminded me of my dress that I wore at my wedding shower before I married my husband Eddie. And I found a Polaroid picture of me in 1978 in that dress at my bridal shower. I couldn't believe I found it, and I was so happy. So Eddie passed away last week unexpectedly, and I have been going over in my mind everything about our relationship, everything about our marriage, how we met, and the things that we did, and our last conversations. We were close until the end. My son Chris was born in 1973, and you know, I would rock him and feed him and, you know, do all the things that you do with a baby. And in the background I was always playing a brand new progressive radio station in my city called LAV, and it was FM radio and it was alternative music. And the disc jockeys, it went 24 hours and the disc jockeys became stars. They were so talented and so special. Doc Donovan and Eris Hampers and Ed Buchanan, and they were amazing. And my husband Ed was on the radio and I listened to him all the time, and I kind of fell in love with him. I fell in love with him years before I would meet him. So by the time I met him, you know, I didn't really have a chance. When we got married, we were truly in love. And Ed took on this persona as like my dad. And it was a dynamic that I never saw in other relationships, and I would never have another relationship like that again. But he helped me raise my son, and he taught me how to golf. He taught me how to cook. He taught me how to drive a car. He tried to teach me how to drive a car. He had to hire somebody to come in and actually teach me how to drive when I was 24. But we had a lot of highs and lows in the years that we were together. The lows were pretty low, and the highs were amazing. Right around 2010, Ed and I began to meet once a year at least and have some wine or beer and have lunch and just talk and talk. And it wouldn't be like an hour or two. I mean, it would be an epic afternoon. And we would go over our lives and give each other a report. And I mean, we kept in touch every day on Facebook, you know, with messages and things like that. But we, you know, we saw each other once or twice a year. I think over the years, I think there was so much love there, but there was so much hurt there that we needed to work things through, and we helped each other do that, and sometimes it was very painful, but we did it anyway. And Ed was the type of guy that his philosophy was, if something is bothering you, don't think about it. Just sweep it under the rug and go have a beer. Don't belabor things. Stop. He didn't like drama. But we had good, hard talks. We really did. He wanted a wife and he wanted children, and what he got from me was a woman that was playing music all the time, and I was very ambitious. And he had a fantastic career, but he believed that you never do anything extra. Just enjoy what you have and keep doing what you're doing. And I was always moving, and I was ambitious, and I was working 2 jobs, and I was playing music, and I wanted to move to a better house, and I wanted this and I wanted that, and we wanted different things. I was so young when I married Ed, and I did so many irresponsible things, and I found a piano that I really wanted, but I didn't have the money for it, and I didn't even tell Ed I did this, but I went to the bank and I got a loan to buy the piano, and I put his car up for collateral on the loan. Anyway, fast forward a couple years, and Ed he loved to golf and he loved to bowl, and he bowled in a couple different leagues, and his bowling ball was always in his trunk. Anyway, I defaulted on the loan, and they came, I can laugh about it now, and they started to repossess his car. He had no idea what was going on. He had no idea I put his car up as collateral for my loan, and he's chasing the tow guy down the street, and I thought, oh boy, there goes my marriage, it's all over. And he wasn't so mad that I had taken out this loan and not told him, and he wasn't even that mad that his car was gone. He was really mad because he had a tournament that night and his bowling ball was in the trunk. He never let me forget that, ever. That kind of symbolized our marriage. I was always doing some wacky thing, and he took it. He loved me. He loved me. He thought of me as Gracie Allen. And at times, I loved him thinking I was Gracie Allen, and at other times, he had a way where he could kind of turn that on me and make me feel really small. And we talked about that. We talked about that a lot. Every single year he said, "Happy birthday, baby." And I'm going to miss that so much. I asked him out of the blue. I said, "Did you love me? Did you really love me?" And he put his head in his hands and he said, "Oh my God, didn't you know? Didn't you know how much I loved you? And didn't you know that when I would think back on the way I treated you sometimes, I would feel so bad and I would feel so haunted by that?" And I told him the same thing, that I was haunted by the way that I wasn't a good wife to him. I was too wild. Ed was like Dad to me, and I'd been on YouTube a couple years, and he was in radio, so he understood what it was like to communicate with an audience, and I really wanted him to be proud of me, and I wanted him to see how hard I worked, and I wanted him to recognize that. But that last time we were together, it just took a wrong turn. And I brought up my channel, and he just kind of snapped. And he said, "Are you trying to impress me? Are you trying to impress me with that? Because you're not." And he must have seen that look on my face, because I was just crushed. I was just crushed. He said that to me. Because I wasn't trying to impress him. I just brought it up because I thought he would say, "Yeah, good job." But he must have seen the look on my face and the tears in my eyes. And he took my arm and he said, the one thing I wanted to do in life more than anything was to make movies, to make little films. And you can do that. And I can't. Ed had an amazing career. He was famous. He had amazing radio shows. He met every famous person there was to meet in the music world. But he still had a lot to do. There were so many things he wanted to still do. And he wanted to make films. I believe with all my heart that he was shocked that I could make it on my own, not being married. I think he was shocked that I didn't goof it up, that I wasn't Gracie Allen. He just couldn't say it. He just couldn't. But he loved me. And I loved him. And he was mad at me. And I was mad at him. But we made our divorce work. And I cherish all those messages that we wrote each other back and forth on Facebook. The things we said in person and the hugs. Like I said before, you know, it's not complicated. I'll love that man till the day I die. I'll love him until the day I die.